This is the OTB Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. A lot of stakes racing action from around the country. Of course, Del Mar opening as well as Saratoga, making it a very busy weekend of horse racing from around the country. We are going to start down at Monmouth Park, where a pair of turf sprints were run, as well as the Salvator Mile. We are going to get things kicked off with the Candy Eclair Stakes for 3-year-old fillies going 5 on the turf. Let's head down to Monmouth for the running of the Candy Eclair.
They're racing in the Candy Eclair. Formal dress was off slowly. On the far outside, it is Muji Moo and Melody of Colors along the rail, and these two had the best beginning. Right behind the leaders are Tangier Sound and Libby's Halo in 4th. Followed on the outside by Tasty Lace, Almack's Diner down toward the inside. Then it's Dovetail, followed next by Clever Blonde. A gap of another 4 lengths back to Daljetta and Formal Dress. A quarter in 21-1, and Melody of Colors leads by a neck. Tangier Sound second on the outside. Libby's Halo saves ground in 3rd. Right alongside is Tasty Lace in 4th. Then Almack's Diner, Clever Blonde, Muji Moo bolted as they come into the stretch. It is Melody of Colors and Tangier Sound. Libby's Halo is 2.5 behind them in 3rd. Then it's Almack's Diner on the outside. And Tangier Sound and Melody of Colors are coming to the wire together. Tangier Sound on the outside gets up by a head. Melody of Colors was second. It's close for 3rd between Libby's Halo and Almack's Diner.
Tangier Sound and Julian Pimentel, who's doing very well down at Monmouth after having lost his bug, picking up a head-bobbing victory over Melody of Colors, the front runner who held on nicely at almost 21-1. Libby's Halo sits a stalking trip but was unable to make up much ground, holding on to the 3rd spot as the favorite. The winner, Tangier Sound, is a 3-year-old bay daughter of Rahi from Secret Prospect by Allen's Prospect, bred in Kentucky by Robert Hahn and owned by Conover Stable, trained by James Ryerson and ridden by Julian Pimentel. Tangier Sound completes the 5 furlongs on the turf course, 56 2/5. Heading back to Monmouth next for the Salvator Mile, a Grade 3 $100,000 event for the older horses. The flat mile is the distance. Let's head back down to Monmouth for the running of the Salvator Mile.
They're racing in the Salvator Mile and off to a great start. Cats at Home is going to the front. There goes Firm Believer to the outside, and Tempest Fugit came out running in 3rd. Express Tour is right with the leaders, but he's wide as they enter the clubhouse turn. Then First Lieutenant, followed by Free of Love, Jerosa second last, and Sea of Tranquility as they round the clubhouse turn. It's Firm Believer, a long shot with the favorite Express Tour just alongside, and they ran the quarter in 23 1/5 seconds. Cats at Home is running in 3rd. He's 2 lengths off the lead. Then Tempest Fugit, Free of Love, and First Lieutenant down toward the rails, 6 lengths from the front. It's 2 lengths farther back to Sea of Tranquility. The undefeated Jerosa is 10 lengths off the lead as they continue their run to the backstretch. A half mile in 45 3, and Express Tours in front as they go into the turn. The whip is out on Firm Believer. Cats at Home is right there in contention on the outside. Then it's Free of Love waiting for a way out. Tempest Fugit is next by 2. Sea of Tranquility and First Lieutenant are right together. They're 5 lengths off the lead. And Jerosa is last as they make their way to the top of the stretch. And there goes Cats at Home to the neck of Express Tour, and they're on even terms. First Lieutenant is right in behind them. On the outside comes Free of Love, and they're into the stretch. First Lieutenant and Free of Love are together, and they're coming. And on the outside, it's Sea of Tranquility. Cats at Home. On the inside, Express Tour. It's anyone's race, and First Lieutenant has taken the lead, and he's opening up. Then it's Sea of Tranquility and Free of Love, but First Lieutenant has won the Salvator Mile. Sea of Tranquility was next, and then Free of Love and Cats at Home.
Sea of Tranquility crossing the finish line in the second spot, but picking up the victory on the DQ of First Lieutenant. Interestingly enough, what happened here was that First Lieutenant got involved in a bit of a bumping match, solidly bumping horses at the top of the stretch, causing him to be DQ'd behind Free of Love as a result of, despite the fact that this horse himself was later fouled, being hit with a whip, he ends up losing the win, and that spot goes to Sea of Tranquility, who ran a game race, rallying 5 wide and earning the place spot, being moved into the win spot. Free of Love moved up a notch. First Lieutenant moves back down to the 3rd spot. The winner, Sea of Tranquility, is a chestnut son of Hef out of Bonky by Fit to Fight. He was bred in New Jersey by Dennis Drazen, owned by G. Watts Humphrey, owned by the Triple M Farm and trained by Richard Paulus, ridden to victory by Jose Ferrer. Sea of Tranquility completes the flat mile of the Salvator Mile in 1:36 flat. One more turf sprint on the docket from Monmouth Park, and these races fill up very nicely, particularly as this condition is not offered in New York. We see a lot of New York shippers in these turf sprints down in New Jersey. The finale from Monmouth Park in terms of stakes racing this weekend, the Classy Briefcase. $50,000 for older fillies and mares, going 5 on the turf. Let's head back to Monmouth for the running of the Classy Briefcase.
Racing in the Classy Briefcase. Cloud City is going to the front. On the inside, it's Amber's Way along with Naughty Mambo. 2 Market is right there, as is No Other Name and Sparkling Number as they run up the backstretch. On the inside, it's Amber's Way in front. Amber's Way leads the way by a neck. Naughty Mambo is right alongside in second position into the turn. No Other Name third on the outside by 2, then 2 Market, Cloud City and Sparkling Number. AP Andy down on the inside, 6 off the lead, and then an unhurried Slew Jeans who will have to come from last. It's Amber's Way, who ran a quarter in 21 flat and turns for home a length and a half in front. Naughty Mambo on the outside, Cloud City coming through on the inside. Then Sparkling Number, 2 Market, and AP Andy along the rail. Slew Jeans is set down very late. It is Amber's Way in front by 3 lengths. Slew Jeans flying late on the outside. Amber's Way, Slew Jeans. Amber's Way won it. Slew Jeans got up for second, and then came Cloud City.
Amber's Way and Carlos Cruz picking up a nice 1-length victory here is the lukewarm choice from Slew Jeans, who broke her maiden in New York not that long ago. Rushed up through traffic to get up into the 2nd spot in a game effort onto Chucky Lopez. Cloud City sat behind the pace, just behind the pace in the early going, rallied a little bit but came up short. The winner, Amber's Way, is a 4-year-old dark bay or brown daughter of Forest Wildcat from Simply Saucy by Lord Avey, bred in Kentucky by Brereton Jones and Tim Wesley, owned by Richard Gelb and trained by John Fisher. Ridden to victory by Carlos Cruz, Amber's Way completes the 5 furlongs of the Classy Briefcase in 55 and 4. Next, we're going to be heading to Ellis Park, where the stakes feature on Saturday was the Dr. Bernhard Stakes, a sprint for older horses, the distance 6.5 furlongs. Let's head down to Kentucky now for the running of the Dr. Bernhard Stakes.
In the gate, off and running in the Don Bernhard. Quick start for Big Bad George to take the lead from Chindy. Then it's Better Road up the inside. Dash for Daylight flashing good speed. 1 by the nose. Came away racing in 5th by 2. Chindy's on the outside now. Then Bet on Sunshine second last. And 7 off the pace 2 in front of U.S. Jetsu Trails at a moderate clip up the backside. It's Better Road now, half a length in front. Dash for Daylight turns up some pressure to the outside. Big Bad George races in 3rd. 1 by the nose is next by 2 to Gallon Frolic to the outside of Bet on Sunshine. He's getting right up into the race now. 5 farther back to U.S. Jets in the Great Shindy. At the back of the pack, opening quarter 22 and 3. On around the far turn they go. It's Better Road and Dash for Daylight. Here comes Bet on Sunshine, revving it up into 3rd. Big Bad George 4th and coming under pressure now. 1 by the nose on the inside. Whip out on Gallon Frolic. 5 back to U.S. Jets, who's starting to come up into the race in Chindy. At the back of the pack, they turn for home. Dash for Daylight taking the lead. Better Road digs in along the inside. There's stride for stride. Bet on Sunshine trying to get to the top pair. Full bore 3rd and 1 by the nose. Down to the final 16th of a mile they go. Dash for Daylight taking a short lead. Bet on Sunshine on the far outside. Dash for Daylight goes clear. Dash for Daylight wins the Don Bernhard back-to-back years by a half a length.
Dash for Daylight pulling off a little bit of it. I wouldn't call it an upset as he was the favorite, but he certainly beat an old favorite in Bet on Sunshine here, picking up the victory from the front end, pressing the pace, alternating with the lead in the leading spot with Better Road, who has to settle for the second spot, a half a length behind us. Bet on Sunshine, the old timer, I believe now at the age of 9, rallies from off the pace as is his usual running start after a bumpy beginning, rallying into the third spot. He has not quite been the horse that he was in the last couple of seasons. The winner, Dash for Daylight, is a 5-year-old son of Cherokee Run from Crystal Stepper by Fred Astaire, bred in Kentucky by Courtney and Congleton. He is owned by Prestonwood Farm, trained by Elliott Walden, and ridden to victory by Tony D'Amico. Dash for Daylight completes the 6.5 furlongs at Ellis Park in 1:15.4. Next, we're going to head out to Chicago for a trio of prep races for the Arlington Million card, beginning with the Round Table Stakes, $100,000 on offer for 3-year-olds going 1 1/8 miles. Let's head out to Arlington for the running of the Round Table.
Away and running in the Round Table. And Cowboy Stuff, Patrick Valenzuela going right to the offensive. Pass rush from that outside post, and Thunder Pumper ridden from the rail by James Lopez as they run through the first furlong into the clubhouse turn, and it's Cowboy Stuff in front. Pass rush coming up on the outside, AP 500 right there running third, and Thunder Pumper now easing back the run from just off this pace in fourth. Windward Passage is fifth, followed then by, on the inside, Sharp Gold alongside his Colorful Tour. Then still 3 more to Rainy Parade, racing second to last by 6, and Long Shot Resident Rogue is 9th and last. The opening quarter, 23-4. It is Cowboy Stuff running unopposed. Pass rush 3 lengths in behind. AP 500 closer toward the rail and rating well in third, followed by Windward Passage fourth, Thunder Pumper fifth. Racing sixth is Sharp Gold. Sharp Gold 7 from the leader. Cowboy Stuff, who's still solo past the half-mile pole. Mark Guidry now trying to light a fire under Rainy Parade, who's wide. Then it's Colorful Tour, and finally Resident Rogue remains a long way last. The half in 47 seconds flat, just inside 3 furlongs to go. Cowboy Stuff, pass rush, still his nearest pursuer. AP 500 third, Windward Passage fourth. Sharp Gold wide, 10 from the leader. Then comes Thunder Pumper, Colorful Tour, Rainy Parade, and the outrun Resident Rogue. They come past the quarter pole. 3/4 in 1:11 flat. Patrick Valenzuela and Cowboy Stuff looking to lead wire to wire. It's still looking good. Pass rush is second, fully extended past the 16th pole. It is still Cowboy Stuff. Pass rush running game, but second to Cowboy Stuff. Cowboy Stuff led throughout to win the Round Table. Pass rush second by 5. AP 500 and Windward Passage.
On a muddy track, it's Cowboy Stuff, who obviously took nicely to the wet stuff, winning by 2 on the front end every step of the way, sitting in front of Pass Rush about a length and a half almost every step of the way around the racetrack. AP 500 finishing in the third spot after having sitting third early out throughout. Just a 1-2-3 run for the top 3 horses. This favorite AP 500 just holds off Windward Passage by a nose late in the drive. The winner, Cowboy Stuff, is a 3-year-old grayer roan son of Evansville Slough from Deanne's Lady by Dancing Champ, bred in Iowa by Donnie Von Hemmel. He is owned by Shelley Bates and Don Von Hemmel. Trained by Don Von Hemmel and ridden to victory by Pat Valenzuela, Cowboy Stuff runs the 1 mile and an 1/8 of the Round Table Stakes on the muddy racetrack in 1:48.4. Continuing with stakes racing action from Arlington, the Arlington Handicap. $225,000 for older horses going long on the turf. It does unfortunately seem like every time Arlington hosts a big weekend of stakes racing, their turf course is yielding. Once again, this past weekend, the turf course labeled yielding. Let's head out to Arlington now for the running of the Arlington Handicap.
In the gate. Away and running in the Arlington Handicap. It's Gretchen Starr who strides away well. Kappa King, catchy word right there. Mystery Giver over toward the rail. Strut the stage as they come past the stands for the first time. It's catchy word coming away in front of Gretchen Starr. Strut the stage is up and on the pace. And Kappa King in hand now by Patrick Valenzuela, running a close fourth. Private Sun is fifth, just covering up Mystery Giver toward the rail. Then Falcon Flight to Brock the next pair. Farther back is National Anthem, who's allowed to settle into stride while down at the middle Million lane, lane 5, and then farther back in the field, running last is Baruch. The opening quarter goes in a low-key 25 seconds flat. Yielding turf here, and it's Catchy Word to catch Larry Melanson, and Catchy Word in front of Strut the Stage and Robbie Alvarado running a close second, Gretchen Star third, and Kappa King in hand fourth. Mystery Giver and Private Sun, they continue to race as a joint fifth, 5 from the front. And still 2 more, to Brock. Falcon Flight is in back of Mystery Giver. Falcon Flight needs an alley to run through. National Anthem second to last by 7 more. And finally, Baroba. Half in 49 and 4. 4 furlongs to come in the Arlington Handicap, and it's Catchy Word leading Strut the Stage, Gretchen Star, and Kappa King. There's been no twist in the plot. Mystery Giver, Private Stun still mid-pack. Falcon Flight now makes a good split, racing 5 from these leaders. 2 Brock is 4 wide on the course. National Anthem 7 from the front, and finally Baroba. 3/4 in 1:14 and 1, just above the quarter pole. Kappa King coming up now to Catchy Word. Catchy Word, short leader, leaving the far turn. Kappa King right there. Gretchen Star is bottled up. Strut the Stage in back of horses. Farther out is Private Sun now coming with a good final furlong. Kappa King has run to the front for Patrick Valenzuela from Catchy Word, followed by Private Sun. Gretchen Star runs on willingly between horses, and on the outside is Falcon Flight. They're coming down to the line. Kappa King on the outside. Falcon Flight coming quick. Falcon Flight to win the Arlington Handicap in the final strides, snatching it away from Kappa King. 24-1. Gretchen Star a good third in 2:03 flat.
Falcon Flight and Renee Douglas. Falcon Flight, a horse that had taken a long time to kind of come to hand, has had several long layoffs, a couple of setbacks, but obviously in very good form and loving the yielding turf course at Arlington on Saturday afternoon. Kappa King back in the second spot after an off-the-pace rally, just coming up and just missing the victory here, did get the lead and fell short as Falcon Flight's late charge carried him to victory. Gretchen Star sits a stalking trip. Nice try, made a bit of a bid into the stretch, but did come up third as the 24-1 outsider in the wagering here. Strut the Stage, the favorite here at just under 2-1, sat a stalking trip, pressing in the early going and faded rather badly to finish 6th. This was a horse that had been very competitive, won the Dixie earlier this year, had run well behind Beat Hollow earlier this season, and was certainly a disappointment in what was supposed to be his prep race for the Arlington Million. The winner, Falcon Flight, is a 6-year-old dark bay or brown son of Persian Bold from Flying Circus by Gay Messine. He was bred by the Petra Bloodstock Agency in France, owned by Gary Tanaka, trained by Donald J. Burke, and ridden to victory by Renee Douglas. Falcon Flight completes the 1.25 miles on the yielding turf in 2:03 flat. Next, we're going to head back to Arlington for the running of the Modesty, Grade 3, $150,000 once again for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares going long on that yielding turf course. Let's head back to Arlington for the running of the Modesty.
Away and running of the Modesty. A fine beginning for England's Legend in her return. SUFCE heads out from the outside, and she's a bit ranked through the early furlongs. IOU2 just in back of the front, along with Polaire running 4th. Quick Tip, 5th and rating toward the rail. 5 from leader England's Legend as they come under the wire. Then farther back comes Annette, who settles in nicely. 8 from the leader England's Legend. Following Annette is Lady of Peace, and long shot True Ruby is running in 8th. The opening quarter, 24-1. Renee Douglas has favored England's Legend on top of SUFCE by a length and a half. Quick Tip right there toward the rail running 3rd. IOU2 4th, and Polaire 3 wide on the course 5th, but she's only 5 from the leader. Then it's a stretch of 6 more to Annette, who continues to rate toward the back of the field, Lady of Peace, and finally True Ruby. Half in 48-2. England's Legend in front with SUFCE camped just outside of her flank. IOU2, a good tracking spot 3rd now with 4 furlongs to go. Quick Tip, ground saving 4th. Polaire, 5 from the leader 5th. Then still 3 more to Annette, Lady of Peace, and finally True Ruby. They run toward the far turn. England's Legend continues to make the running. 3/4 at 1:12 flat. SUFCE still chasing the choice now around the far turn. Quick Tip and IOU2. Annette starts to warm up to the task, and she's down inside. Annette has running room now. Polaire as they come past the quarter pole. Lady of Peace and True Ruby at the back, leaving the far turn. It is England's Legend, and she's sharp here. England's Legend by 5. Quick Tip is now second, followed toward the rail by Annette, and then comes SUFCE, who's now dropped back. They're coming down toward the final 16th. England's Legend, Quick Tip running second, Annette, and Lady of Peace. It is England's Legend. England's Legend was able to stay out the distance, and she wins the Modesty by 2.5 lengths. Quick Tip second, Annette and Lady of Peace in 1:55.3.
England's Legend ships out for the victory and picks up a handy victory on the front end. She did have to tussle a little bit in the early going, but was able to handle the things as they got to the top of the stretch. She had a 2+ length victory. She was eased a little bit by Renee Douglas late here. This was her return race. She had not been out since last fall's disappointing performance in the Breeders' Cup, and she is, of course, being pointed for the Beverly D later at the meet. Quick Tip rallies nicely from off the pace into the second spot, as In It also comes from far off the pace into the third spot. The winner, England's Legend, is a 5-year-old bay mare, a daughter of Lure from Mystery Tune by Comanche Run, bred in France by the Écurie de Montry. She is owned by Edouard de Rothschild and trained by Christophe Clement. Ridden to victory by Renee Douglas. England's Legend completes the mile in 3/16 on a yielding turf in 1:55.3. We are going to pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at a pair of stakes races from north of the border, heading out to Del Mar for their opening weekend of stakes racing action, as well as heading to Finger Lakes for the New York Derby. Please stay tuned.
Saratoga 2002 is finally here. Be a part of the 134th meet with Capital OTB. Every morning at 10 a.m., 9:30 on weekends, it's AM Saratoga. We'll supply you with information concerning the meet, along with Gene Wood or Anthony Mormino with their expert selections. Saturdays at 10:30, it's Down the Stretch, live from the track with Mark Casano and Mike Veach. Sundays at 10:30, it's Track Facts Live with Tom Amello and Nick Kling, and your phone calls. At 11:30, replays from the previous day at Saratoga. Then changes and guest handicapping at 12. Plus, we'll have in-home simulcasting of the last race each day at Saratoga. Don't miss any of the 134th Saratoga season. Capital OTB and Saratoga, a winning combination.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses. Next, we're going to be heading north of the border for a pair of juvenile stakes, beginning with Saturday's running of the Nandy for Canadian-bred 2-year-old fillies. $125,000 is the purse, 6 furlongs the distance. Let's head up to Woodbine now for the running of the Nandy Stakes.
They're off in the Nandy Stakes. Santera, and just to the inside of Santera, Boldest of All, and Boldest of All takes the early lead. Santera's second, Dressed for Action is third, Nye Star sits off the early pace in fourth, back 3 lengths off the lead, and Onshore Music trails this group as they move along the backstretch. And it's Boldest of All leading it by just ahead, and coming on to the inside now is Dressed for Action. The opening quarter mile, 23 seconds flat. Dressed for Action and Boldest of All, shoulder to shoulder, 3 furlongs from the wire. Nye Star inches up on the outside, third. Moves within 2.5 lengths of the lead. Then we have Santera in the fourth position. Onshore Music is fifth. They come to the quarter pole. Boldest of All. Boldest of All moves well at the top of the lane. Dressed for Action is second. McElwain is asking Nye Star in third. She's yet to respond as they come to the 8th pole. Boldest of All continues to travel extremely well in the final 1/8 of a mile. Dressed for Action is second. Outside, Santera third. Nye Star has faded. Final 70 yards. Boldest of All. Sharpened victory in the Nandy. Dressed for Action finishes second. Santera third. And Nye Star fourth.
Boldest of All and Pat Husbands get to the wire 2.5 lengths the better of the field here after getting to the lead in the early going, speeding out to the front and never looking back. Dressed for Action sits a stalking trip, never able to make up a whole lot of ground, finishing in the second spot as the 12-1 outsider in the field, with Santera, the 5-1 second choice, third choice in the wagering, finishing third as the favorite finishes off the board. The favorite, Nye Star, was never really involved. She did not make much of an impact at all in the 5-horse field. The winner, Boldest of All, a dark Bayer Brown 2-year-old daughter of Bold Executive from Mar Thai by Lost Code, was bred by Anthony B. Russo in Ontario, Canada. owned by Stubbs Investments and trained by Rita Schnitzler. Ridden to victory by Pat Husband, Boldest of All completes the 6 furlongs in 1:11 and 2. Next, we're going to head back to Woodbine for the male equivalent, the Bullpage Stakes. Also Canadian-bred 2-year-olds, this time Colts and Geldings, running for a $125,000 purse. The distance again is 6 furlongs. Let's head back to Woodbine for the running of the Bullpage.
They're off in the Bullpage Stakes. Godin from the extreme outside. Now Biddy's Lad comes on. To the outside is Lucky LaRue, and to the inside is Magic Jack. Godin's back to 4th in the early going. And we have Pop Star to the inside, 5th. Rob the Streakers between runners. To the outside, first-time starter Tracy's Tonka Toy. And trailing this field is Long Shot Rum Talk. Less than a half mile to come now, and it's Biddy's Lad. Biddy's Lad by a neck. Magic Jack continues to press to the inside as they head into the far turn. Lucky LaRue is 3rd, 2 lengths off the lead. Then we have a Godin in 4th. To the outside, Tracy's Tonka Toy, and to the inside, Pop Star. They hit the quarter pole. Biddy's Lad leads these 2-year-olds over to the top of the stretch. A resilient Magic Jack presses on to the inside. Put the pressure on the far outside is Lucky LaRue. Godin is on the far outside. They're in the final 1/8 of a mile. Biddy's Lad and Sutherland almost home. Magic Jack to the inside. To the outside is Godin. Final 70 yards. Biddy's Lad and Chantal Sutherland to win the Bullpage. Magic Jack finishes 2nd and Godin 3rd.
Biddy's Lad picking up the victory under Chantal Sutherland. Again, a front-running victory this one was. 9-1 the price here, a generous price as Magic Jack sits a pressing position every step of the way. Very similar type of race with Godin running from a little bit further off the pace into the 3rd spot. Again, the favorite finishing 4th. Lucky LaRue sits a stalking trip. Did run very, very solidly up the backstretch, but dropped back late in the going. The winner, Biddy's Lad, is a 2-year-old bay colt, a son of Tethra from Biddy Mulligan by Geiger Counter, bred by Mike Doyle in Ontario, Canada. Owned by Springfield Stable and Dura Racing, trained by Michael Doyle, and ridden to victory by Chantal Sutherland. Biddy's Lad completes the 6 furlongs of the Bullpage in 1:11 and 1. Next, we're going to head out to Del Mar, which opened midweek last week, and take a look at a pair of stakes from the weekend, beginning with Saturday's running of the Bing Crosby, a sprint for older horses, going for a $200,000 purse. It is a Grade 2 event. Unfortunately, Kona Gold was withdrawn from contention, leaving a wide-open field of 9 to go postward. Let's head out to California and take a look at the Bing Crosby.
And away they go to a perfect start. On the far side, Impressive Grades, but now Free Spool. Free Spool gets the lead. Astonished from the outside gate, Disturbing the Peace coming through at the rail to get 2nd. Men's Exclusive in the white is right there too. Mellow Fellow at the rail, 4 off them. Then to Wildcat, Nuclear Debate, and Comax is last, 7 off the leaders. A half mile to go in the Bing Crosby. Free Spool at the rail, Astonished up alongside. Disturbing the Peace is right there 3rd. Then it's 2.5 back to Mellow Fellow, Impressive Grades. Men's Exclusive in a little tight, lost a bit of ground there. Nuclear Debate has gone up 6th, 8 lengths off the leaders. Then back to the Wildcat and Comax. They're approaching the quarter pole, and Free Spool a length and a half. Disturbing the Peace coming after him. Astonished can find no more in 3rd. Then it's Impressive Grades. Mellow Fellow. Nuclear Debate is next. They turn for home. Disturbing the Peace coming to tackle Free Spool. These two well clear. And 1/8 of a mile to go. Disturbing the Peace. Free Spool, Impressive Grades trying to get involved late. And Mellow Fellow running on late too. But Disturbing the Peace, the leader with 50 to go. Disturbing the Peace going to take the Bing Crosby. Disturbing the Peace wins it. Free Spool 2nd. Then Mellow Fellow, Impressive Grades. Comax was 5th.
Disturbing the Peace comes back with another nice race here, sitting just off the pace and running a big effort here to win by 3/4 of a length as the favorite from Free Spool, who was involved every step of the way, duking it out in the early going with Astonished. He put that rival away, but was never really able to clear in a very fast field. Mellow Fellow sits a stalking trip and holds on to the 3rd spot. The winner, Disturbing the Peace, is a 4-year-old bay colt, a son of Bold Badgett from Regal Riot by Sovereign Dancer, bred in California by the Old English Rancho and Patsy McEwen. He is owned by David and Rita Milch, trained by Daryl Vienna, and ridden to victory by Derby-winning rider Victor Espinoza. Disturbing the Peace completes the 6 furlongs of the Bing Crosby in 109 and 1. Next, we're going to take a look at the Ramona Handicap, the race traditionally known as the Ramona. The name changed short notice here to the John Mabee Ramona Handicap for this year in honor of the recent death of John Mabee, a major player in California racing. A Grade 1 event for fillies and mares going 1 1/8 on the grass. Let's head back out to California for the running of the Ramona.
Fields sent on their way. They all came out smoothly. Crazy Ensign, the grey, is quick into stride. Janet on the grandstand side. Affluent is showing speed down at the rail. And Surya in the blue sleeves. 4 of them lining up on the lead here. Canzonet in the gold taken in just behind them with Golden Apples alongside of that. And Snowflake brings up the rear, but no more than 4 lengths would cover them all. Past the stands first time round, and Janet now goes on to get a narrow lead with Affluent on her inside. Crazy Ensign is the grey. Down at the rails, Surya just cantering along as they're not in any hurry at all out here. Golden Apples is racing in 5th, just 3 lengths off these leaders. Snowflake in the white on the outside of that, and Canzonet is last, but 4 lengths would cover the entire field. They go to the 3/4 pole, and David Flores and Janet still in no hurry. They go on now to lead 1.5 lengths. Affluent is tracking them in second, cuts into that lead just a little. On the outside is Crazy Ensign. Surya is on a tight hold down at the rail in the white cap. Surya keen to go on. Snowflake on the extreme outside. Canzonet is in the gold, and Golden Apples alongside of that. Still, only 4 lengths would cover the entire field. Less than a half mile to travel, and Janet kicks into the turn with a length advantage over Affluent. Now they quickening. Crazy Ensign, Canzonet at the rail. Surya is looking for somewhere to run. Snowflake on the outside, and Golden Apples bringing up the rear. 5 off the leaders. Coming to the quarter pole, and Janet now bursts away. Janet opened up. She pinched a 3-length lead at the top of the lane, and Janet's gone for home. Affluent is second. Surya now getting going. Golden Apples trying to get involved late. Janet is the leader. Affluent, Surya, Golden Apples on the grandstand side. Janet, Affluent, Golden Apples. Affluent between them. Affluent gonna win it. Affluent into the neck to Golden Apples. Janet to close third. Then Surya, Canzonet, back to Crazy Ensign, and Snowflake finish last.
Affluent switched back onto the turf and finally finds a field that does not include either Azeri or Astra and picks up a neck victory here over the late-running Golden Apples. Janet sets the pace in the early going off of her New York trip last time out and holds on for the 3rd spot. Surya, a recent import who was very impressive in her first starts in the United States, switching here into pretty game company and moving up very, very solidly. Did go off as the favorite and finished 4th in this field of 7. The winner, Affluent, is a 4-year-old chestnut daughter of a firm from Trinity Place by Strawberry Road. She was bred in Kentucky by Janice Whittam, owned by Mrs. Whittam, and trained by Ron McAnally, ridden to victory by Eddie Delahousse. Affluent completes the 1 1/8 of the Ramona in 1:48 and 1. Next, we were going to bring you the Eddie Read. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we were not able to get the race. It was won in an upset by Sarafan over what the horse that is considered the best turf horse in the country, Beat Hollow. A little bit of a questionable tactical ride, but Sarafan, who has now beaten Beat Hollow the 2 different times that they have met, obviously rising to top quality in very good form in California. So a horse certainly to be reckoned with, winning the Grade 1 Eddie Read. Next, however, we are going to head to Finger Lakes to take a look at the New York Derby, the 2nd leg of New York's Big Apple Triple for 3-year-olds. $125,000 mile and a 16th event for the New York bred 3-year-olds. Let's head to Finger Lakes now for the running of the New York Derby.
They're off for the 30th edition of the New York Derby, and out quickest will be Smokey is a Bandit to take the lead. Trial Prep in on the rail, Private Emblem alongside, then we come back Lord of the Thunder and No Parole. And as they move around the clubhouse turn, Smokey is a Bandit and Mike DeVille out to set the early pace and gets away by almost 3. Trial Prep is second. Then there's 2.5 lengths. No Parole is into the rail third. Private Emblem on the outside fourth. And Lord of the Thunder. Opening quarter in 24 flat. Smokey is a bandit, out winging it on the front end, has opened up better than 5-6 lengths. Trial Prep is second. No Parole is into the rail third. Another length back to Private Emblem and Lord of the Thunder. They go the half in 47-1. And Smokey is a bandit, still showing the way by better than 4 lengths. Trial Prep is second. No Parole is into the rail third. Private Emblem and at the back, Lord of the Thunder. As they swing around the turn, Smokey is a bandit, trying to stay on the front end, has it by 2. Trial Prep is second, No Parole into the rail. Then we go back to Private Emblem and Lord of the Thunder. They go 3/4 and 1/12, and they come to the top of the stretch in the 30th renewal of the New York Derby, and they're all chasing. Smokey is a bandit, trying to hang on, but here comes Trial Prep, here comes Private Emblem, and they're 3 across the track betting, and quickest of all, Private Emblem now coming on after the lead to battle with Trial Prep. These two noses apart, and Trial Prep shakes off Private Emblem, and Trial Prep will take the New York Derby. 3/4 of a length, Private Emblem second, No Parole third.
Trial Prep drawing away late from Private Emblem. Private Emblem was a horse that clearly had a lot of things going for him earlier this year, was a graded stakes winner, and certainly a horse to keep your eye on. A lot of people had talked about him as the horse that was going to sweep this series. He has not won either of the races in the series thus far, as Trial Prep sits a stalking trip, pounces and draws off by 3/4 of a length from Private Emblem late. No Parole, the winner of the first leg of the triple, has to settle for the third spot. The winner, Trial Prep, is a 3-year-old bay son of Ormsby from I Fooled Him by Broad Brush. He was bred in New York by Louis Matinas. He is owned by Hemlock Hills Farm, Sanford Goldfarb, and Gabriel Farm. Trained by Richard Dutrow Jr. This is a horse that had broken his maiden an extremely fast time last year, took some time off following that, and has come back this year as a 3-year-old in extremely solid form. Ridden to victory by John Grabowski, Trial Prep completes the mile in a 16th of the New York Derby in 1:45 flat. We are going to pause now for one more brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at the opening weeks of stakes racing action from Saratoga Racecourse. Please stay tuned.
NYBreads.com, the online home of thoroughbred racing's best incentive program. NYBreads.com features sales and racing news, farm tours, articles by some of racing's top riders, the latest results, plus photos and streaming video of New York bred stakes races.
Here comes Critical Eye, and Critical Eye has won.
NYBreads.com has something for everyone. If racing is your full-time business, you'll want to see the leaders in both owner and breeder awards, and a list of stallion earnings courtesy of the Blood Horse. Racing fans will want to see the latest press releases from both Naira and Finger Lakes, plus contests where you can cast your vote for New York bred divisional champions, or even name a newborn foal. Want to take your interest in racing to the next level? NYBreads.com shows how being an owner or breeder can be both fun and rewarding. Thanks to the New York Breeding and Racing Program. NYBreads.com has it all. That's NYBreads.com.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses. The big event in racing, of course, locally this week was the opening of the race course in Saratoga. Getting things kicked off, their traditional opening day stakes race, the Schuylerville, for 2-year-old fillies at 6 furlongs. Let's head up to Saratoga now for the running of the Schuylerville.
And they're off. Freedom's Daughter and Mike's Wildcat. The two of them sprint away quickly together. Mike's Wildcat by a head, Freedom's Daughter, and they are letting out all stops in the first furlong. They're 5 lengths ahead of the third horse, Miss Mary Apples. It's another 5 lengths back to My Mitch, Crimson and Roses. Oh, fudge between those two and Jazz Lady. Racing for the far turn, 21-3 for the opening quarter. And it's Freedom's Daughter. Freedom's Daughter has the lead by 3/4 of a length. Mike's Wildcat trying to stay with Freedom's Daughter is now beginning to edge away to lead by a bit more than a length. But on the outside, Mike's Wildcat continues to fight on. Miss Mary Apples is getting closer to them. She's third. Then a break of another 3.5 back to My Mitch is on the outside fourth as the field turns for home. It's Freedom's Daughter, a half in 45 and 2. She'll come to the 8th pole with a 3-length lead. Miss Mary Apples is bearing down on her. My Mitch is third. Mike's Wildcat coming up empty. A 16th from home. Freedom's Daughter still there. Miss Mary Apples cannot get to Freedom's Daughter, the game winner of the Schuylerville. She won it by a length. Miss Mary Apples was second. My Mitch was third. Crimson and Roses was fourth.
Freedom's Daughter in her second career start becomes a graded stakes winner for Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez, the combination that has been tearing it up with 2-year-olds all season long. A 1.25 length victory here over Miss Mary Apples, who rallied very nicely. Mimic finishing in the 3rd spot off of a nice debut down in Kentucky. The winner, Freedom's Daughter, is a 2-year-old bay filly, a daughter of St. Bellato from Carezza by Caro. She was bred in Pennsylvania by Mr. George Strawbridge Jr., owned by Padua Stable and trained by Todd Pletcher. Ridden to victory by John Velasquez, Freedom's Daughter completes the 6 furlongs of the Schuylerville in 1:12 flat. Heading back to Saratoga next for the 2nd day traditional stakes race, the Sanford, of course, the brother race to the Schuylerville. 2-year-olds going for $150,000. Once again, the distance is 6 furlongs. A race, of course, long known for upsets. Won by a horse named Upset, beating Man o' War way back in the day. Let's head back up to Saratoga, take a look, and see if we're going to have another big upset in this year's running of the Sanford.
And they're off. Run Production and Huzzar break on top for their outside post. Ray's Emblem is away third and Posse is fourth. Wildcat Air comes through on the inside from fifth, followed by Hear No Waverly 6 by 3. Near the back of the pack are Title Contender, followed by Spite the Devil, and the last of them all is Why. The field moving into the far turn. Huzzar does battle here with Run Production. Huzzar now in front by neck. Run Production right there with them on the outside. A dazzling quarter of 21 3/5 seconds. An all-out battle between the two front runners coming to the top of the stretch, with Wildcat Air getting closer in third, and Posse's only 3 lengths behind. Why last down the backstretch, and he's coming fast on the far outside. They are at the top of the stretch now. Here comes Why Wildcat Air. The two of them head-to-head for the lead as they come into the final furlong now. Posse on the inside is third. Then farther back it's Spite the Devil. Why? Yes! Why wins from last to first to win it by 3.
Why? It wasn't really an upset. He went off at 5-1. He had won the Flash Stakes earlier on this season. That was a race that was marred by a spill, and there may have been some belief that this horse picked up the victory that day when 2 of the top contenders were involved in the fall. Why sits way back off the early pace after being pinched back in the early going, makes a 4-wide move to almost a 3-length victory over Wildcat Air, who had been involved chasing the very speedy early pace at the beginning portion of the race. He held on by a nose over the late-charging Spite the Devil, who made a very nice move wide into the stretch to pick up the 3rd spot. The winner, Why, has now won 2 graded stakes races. He is a chestnut son of Mr. Greeley from Thoroughfare by Quiet American. Bred in Kentucky by James E. Jones, he is owned by Biancone Anuaki and trained by Patrick Biancone, who has now got 2 of the leading 2-year-olds in New York in this colt, Why, as well as Zavada. Why, under Edgar Prado, completes the 6 furlongs of the Sanford Stakes in 1:10 and 2. Moving on to the turf next for Friday's stakes feature, the Bernhard Baruch Handicap for 3-year-olds and up, older horses going 1 1/8 miles on the turf. Let's head back up to Saratoga for the running of the Bernhard Baruch.
And they're off. Forbidden Apple strikes out for the lead early. Here's Del Mar Show on the outside. Valponi down toward the rail. So as they move by us for the first time, 3 of them to vie for the lead. Valponi takes the initiative now. And Forbidden Apple right there with them alongside second. Del Mar Show is third. Baptize on the inside is fourth. Then Navasink, followed by No Slip and full flow into the clubhouse turn. And Valponi takes the field through the opening furlongs here. The first quarter went in 23 4/5 seconds. Valponi in front. On the outside, Del Mar Show tracking in second, and Forbidden Apple under a tight hold, saving ground at the inside third. Forbidden Apple wants to go, but he's well held there by Jose Santos. On the outside, Baptize in the clear, followed by Navasink, who's only 3 lengths from the front. Near the back of the pack is No Slip, who's also reserved. Full Flow trails the field through a half in a sensible 48 4/5 seconds. Valponi in front, a bit more pressure now from Del Mar Show. Forbidden Apple still very eager with a half mile to go, 2 lengths behind the lead. And farther back in the field, it's Baptized, followed by Navasink, and then it's No Slip. Full Flow is the trailer. Into the far turn, it's Valponi 3/4 of a length. Del Mar Show to the attack on the far turn. And Forbidden Apple is poised in third position as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. And Full Flow moves up on the far outside. Navasink and No Slip off the turn into the stretch. And Del Mar Show powers up to take the lead. Forbidden Apple is cut loose as they come to the final furlong. Valponi fights on toward the rail. 1 furlong to go. Del Mar Show, Bailey working on him, still holding the lead. Valponi giving chase. Forbidden Apple full out. Time running out for Del Mar Show. Here comes the wire, and Del Mar Show holds on to win by a desperate head. And it was a photo for second, very tight between Valponi on the inside and Forbidden Apple.
Bill Mott and Jerry Bailey have just about owned this race. They went off at generous 7-2 and picked up a neck victory over the late resurgent Valponi. Valponi was on the lead every step of the way, lost the lead to Del Mar Show at about the top of the stretch, but was re-rallying, finishing a neck behind that rival. Forbidden Apple came up a little bit flat in the drive, but kept persevering, and Jose Santos was able to get him within a neck and a nose of the winner as the 3 of them crossed the finish line very close together. The winner, Del Mar Show, a 5-year-old son of theatrical from Prankstress by Foolish Pleasure, was bred in Kentucky by the late Alan Paulson. He is owned by the Alan Paulson Living Trust, trained by Bill Mott, who, along with Jerry Bailey, have just dominated this race for the last 4 or 5 years or so. Jerry Bailey aboard. The time for Del Mar Show's running of the Bernhard Baruch, 1:48.2. Heading back to Saratoga for a pair of graded stakes races on Saturday, starting out with the Grade 2 Diana Handicap. This is a race that if any race in Saratoga should be a Grade 1, it is the Diana. It's a Grade 2 $500,000 event for fillies and mares on the grass. Let's head up to Saratoga now for the running of the Diana.
They're in the gate. And they're off. And Snowdance breaks well, and on the inside, Tate's Creek gets away quickly early. In between horses, Reina Blanca is there, and on the far outside, Mabee. No one's really anxious for the lead here. Snowdance now is the early leader. The pace appears to be a tepid one, with Mabee moving alongside, and just in behind them, it's Reina Blanca running along in third position. Tate's Creek is now fourth. Voodoo Dancer is outside her, followed at the inside by Blue Moon. Then it's Osley in between horses. Solvig just lumbering along near the back of the pack in the early stages here. Beefeater Baby trails the field. And now a speed duel's beginning to develop up front between Mabee and Snowdance. Their first quarter was 23 3/5 seconds. Into the backstretch run. Mabee's got a short lead. Snowdance right with them, and they're picking the tempo up now with 5 furlongs to go. It's another 2 lengths back. Tate's Creek on the inside of Reina Blanca, who's running along in fourth. And then farther back in the field, Voodoo Dancer is in the clear on the outside, followed by Blue Moon Osley. Beefeater Baby is second last, and the trailer is Solvig with less than a half mile to go. Mabee's got the lead after a half in 48 3/5 seconds. Mabee in front by a neck. Tate's Creek is in between horses. Snowdance toward the inside. Reina Blanca on the far outside. Then just in behind, it's Voodoo Dancing. On the inside is Blue Moon. From the back of the pack, Solvig is launching an outside bid. Beefeater Baby toward the inside. Osley is bottled up while in between horses as the field turns for home, and it's wide open here. Mabee's got a short lead. Tate's Creek is right there. Here comes Voodoo Dancer on the far outside. Voodoo Dancer, Mabee, Tate's Creek, the 3 of them headlong into the final furlong. Snowdance is in behind them, fourth. Far outside, Blue Moon coming hard late. Tate's Creek, short lead. Voodoo Dancer, Mabee, they're coming under the line. And it is too close to call, desperately close, between Tate's Creek and on the outside, Voodoo Dancer. Those two were inseparable at the finish, and it's a 3-way photo for third.
Tate's Creek and Jerry Bailey persevering here, getting the head bob victory over Voodoo Dancer, who was dead game. Both of them sitting stalking trips just off the pace. Both of them very, very game on the wire. It's Jerry Bailey getting Tate's Creek's nose down as the horses cross the finish wire. Jose Santos aboard Voodoo Dancer having to settle for the second spot as the favorite. Snow Dance, a little bit of a resurgent performance for this filly, who has not been her very, very best early this year, finishing in the third spot after a stalking trip. The winner, Tate's Creek, is a four-year-old chestnut filly, a daughter of Rahi from Viviana by Nureyev, bred by her owner, the Juddmonte Farm in Kentucky, trained by Bobby Frankel, ridden to victory by who else? Jerry Bailey. Tate's Creek completes the mile and an eighth on the turf course in 1:48 flat. Coming back in Grade 1 company for three-year-old fillies sprinters in the Test Stakes next on Saturday. $250,000 for these fillies going 7 furlongs for Grade 1 status. Let's head back up to Saratoga for the running of the test.
In the gate, ready for the start of the test. And they're off. Preferred option breaks alertly. And here comes Carson Hollow right from the beginning on the inside, and she's in front. It's Carson Hollow, the leader. Bold World, though, is right there with her on the outside, running along in second. Short Note third. Spring Meadow is fourth. Then Preferred Option. You is at the back of the pack. She's 5 lengths from undefeated Carson Hollow. The trailer is Proper Gamble. Carson Hollow takes the field through a quarter in 21 3. Sensational. Carson Hollow, a torrid pace here as the field moves into the far turn, but not far behind her is Bold World. She's just a length behind. Spring Meadows in between horses. Short Note down toward the inside. Preferred Option, Proper Gamble, and the favorite You is last. The favorite You is last with 3 furlongs to go. The half in 44 1/5 seconds. They're moving toward the quarter pole. It's still Carson Hollow. Carson Hollow is the leader. Here comes Spring Meadow. Spring Meadow with a burst of energy trying to come on through in between horses. Oh, and she got shut off. You trying to squeeze through on the inside. Oh, a daring move there by Jerry Bailey. And on the far outside, Proper Gamble. Bold World in with a fighting chance. 1 furlong to go. And here comes You on the inside of Carson Hollow. And these two are nip and tuck. There's absolutely nothing between them. You's in so tight. Carson Hollow is unwavering. These two in a dramatic finish. It's a photo finish that doesn't deserve a loser. You and Carson Hollow in an absolutely thrilling renewal of the Test Stakes.
You and Carson Hollow kind of look like a rerun of the Diana in the stretch. These two fillies hooking up midway in the stretch and neither one giving an inch. It was again the head bob that decides it, as You and Jerry Bailey picking up another Grade 1 victory here. Carson Hollow suffering a defeat for the first time in her career, and certainly coming up on the losing side of a head bob that was as close could be, having to settle for second here in a dead game effort. Some questions raised about whether or not John Velasquez should ever have let You get through on the inside. She did not exactly drift out, but as the course of taking the turn took her out into about the 2-path, a little bit off the rail, it opened things up for Jerry Bailey to get through on his golden rail with You and get her to victory. Spring Meadow, a little bit of a surprising performance here, finishing a very solid third in the field of 7. The winner, You, is a 3-year-old dark bay or brown daughter of You and I from Our Danny by Home Builder. She was bred in Kentucky by Dolphus Morrison, owned by Edmund Gann, trained by Bobby Frankel, and ridden to victory by Jerry Bailey. You completes the 7 furlongs of the test in 1:22 4. Back to Grade 1 company again on Sunday in the Go for Wand. This time it's older fillies and mares going a mile and an eighth. Once around the oval at Saratoga, the purse $250,000. Let's head back up to Saratoga once more for the running of the Go for Wand.
And they're off. Oh, stumbling badly there at the start was Miss Linda, but she recovered remarkably quickly. In between horses, Forest Secrets, and on the outside it's With Ability. 2 Scarlet up close early. So they hit the clubhouse turn, and it's Miss Linda and With Ability, and those two will vie for the early lead. With Ability a short lead now. And then it's Miss Linda who backs off to run in second position, followed by Forest Secrets now third. Two Scarlet in the clear, running in on fourth, followed by Dance Through the Dawn, who's settling back about 6 or 7 lengths from front running with ability. Transcendental is moving through on the inside of Dance Through the Dawn, and the Atelier will run from off the pace today. She's the trailer behind a sharp pace. That first quarter was 23 1/5 seconds, so With Ability is really moving right along here. Miss Linda's hard on her heels. Midway down the backstretch, there's 5 furlongs to go. The opening half, a taxing 46 3/5 seconds for With Ability. Miss Linda continues to run in second. And Two Scarlet, 4 Secrets Between Horses, fourth. Jerry Bailey has guided Dance Through the Dawn to the outside fifth for clear running. Transcendental. Atelier is still the trailer, but within striking range at the midway point on the turn. Now Miss Linda takes a run for the lead, and she's got it now. It is Miss Linda in front With Ability. Dance Through the Dawn continues a sustained rally on the far outside, and Long Shot Two Scarlet in with a fighting chance as the field turns for home. Dance Through the Dawn, Two Scarlet head-to-head for the lead. Miss Linda down toward the inside. Transcendental is now about 6 lengths from the lead into the final furlong. Dance Through the Dawn has wrested the lead. It is Dance Through the Dawn in front, and she is now prevailing over Two Scarlet. Transcendental is coming on, but it'll be too late and not enough for her. It's Dance Through the Dawn and Jerry Bailey aboard to win it by 4 lengths, and it was a very tight photo for second between Two Scarlet and Transcendental.
Dance Through the Dawn, and you got it, Jerry Bailey picking up the victory here by 3 3/4 lengths from off the pace. A very nice rallying 4-wide move as Transcendental makes the last late run into the second spot, getting her nose in front of New York bred Two Scarlet, whose race was a very creditable one against a good group of fillies. After running in hand in the early going, she dug in very gamely down on the inside against a very, very solid Grade 1 field. The winner, Dance Through the Dawn, is a 4-year-old dark bay or brown daughter of Mr. Prospector from Dance Smartly by Danzig. She was bred by the Samson Farm in Ontario, Canada, owned by Samson Farm, trained by Mark Frostad, and ridden to victory by Mr. Grade 1 Stakes race himself, Jerry Bailey. Dance Through the Dawn completes the mile and an eighth at Saratoga in the Go for Wand in 1:50.1. That wraps up a very busy week of stakes racing action. We hope you've enjoyed the program and hope you'll be able to enjoy next week's program, when we will have more continued stakes racing action from Saratoga, from Del Mar, and around the racing world. Thanks everyone for joining me. I'll see you all back here next week.